Well, we're gonna do something so different. We're gonna do something really different. So, as you know, I started my Scream movie review. I usually only review uh, movies in my other house. If I have the movie, I review them in my other house. But and I do have the film, but didn't finish the review. So I want to finish my review here, right? Anyway, so yeah, so I already talked about it. So I feel like the reason I wanted to split this into parts because I didn't want the review to go on overly long. Fuck, I like this kind of backdrop, but I feel like one of the reasons why I kind of didn't want to overdo it with the review, like go on too long, and split it into two parts, is because I feel like the opening scene alone, I just spent so long talking about. So now I'm going to talk about the rest of the movie. Sorry, I get weird things, feelings. Anyway, so I love Scream. As I said, it is one of my favorite horror films. It's a great satire film. It's a great reinvented the fucking slasher genre, and well, reinvented it as in like obviously Psycho did. Anyway, Halloween did. You know what I fucking mean, right? You don't know what I mean. Eat me ass. Anyway, so basically, I love Sydney Prescott. Another thing, she is an amazing final girl. Same with Gail. Gail's a final girl as well. So they're just great fucking characters, and I love David Arquette as Dewey, and I love the cast. This has the best cast, like one of the best casts ever, because you have, as I said, Ulrich does a great job as Billy Loomis, being creepy and lovey-dovey and manipulative, and then Matthew Lillard does a great job as Stu Macker. You know, so like, I'm just gonna talk about scenes I love. So let's go. So the character of Randy is my favorite of all of them. I think he's just an amazing character, and they shouldn't have killed him off in the sequel. I'm just saying. So I love that scene. Later on in the film, where you fucking see Randy, fucking in the video store, you know, and he's putting VHS there and all that. He's like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do this, let's go. And then, like, first of all, gorgeous looking video store. You can see all the movies. Like, put this here, put that here. It's like, and all that. And basically, you have fucking this woman coming up and going, hey, what's that movie with E.T.'s mom in it? Oh yeah, The Howling, Section 6, down there, and all that. And then like you have Stu coming up, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And all that. And then that's when the woman says, oh, he's like, oh, The Howling. That's 6 floors down. He's like, what are you doing? I'm just working at the video store. What's it look like? And all that. He's like, yeah. So have you heard what's happened to Sydney? No, it's just awful. Some psycho keeps doing it. It's like, oh god, yeah. Wonder who that could be and all this. Like, yeah. I honestly don't know who it is. I honestly think it could be Billy. Billy could be the killer. He's like, why would you think it's Billy? I mean, he's coincidentally shows up at the house right after with a phone and he drops it. That's suspicious to me. He's like, oh really? How do we know you're not the killer? Because I'm not the motive. It's not. I don't have the motive. Anyone, you know. Anyone is. What about Tatum? Tatum's not the killer. How do I know? You could be the killer for all I know. But I think Billy has a perfect motive. It's like, really? Yeah. And then he's like, oh, really? Okay. It's like, yeah. But, you know, after all this is done, do you think Sydney would go out with me? And then Matthew Lillard just goes, no, I don't. It's like, come on, man. It's like, I don't, man. And it's like, Matthew Lillard and fucking Jamie Kennedy, like Billy and Stu, Billy, no, fucking Stu and Randy have such great chemistry. They bounce off each other. It's like, really? Yeah, it's like, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things you have to do to survive. You know, it's like, this is the thing. It's like, oh, you're just a film nerd. It's like, yeah, I know. But if you look in the background, you can see different movies. horror films, different things. He's putting different like movies up. Like this film here is like, oh really? Yeah. Like Terror Train, you have it here. It's like, oh great, yeah, sure, whatever, you know. And he's like, and he's looking over at Billy. He's like, yeah, oh there he is. I think he is the killer, man. You know. He's like, oh, you sure about that? He's like, yeah. Oh, cool, and all that. And then you have like the Clerks VHS in the background. It's like, I know, but it's all this thing. It's all the system's dead. Anything could happen. These people, they watch Prom Night. You know, all these people, they watch Prom Night, whatever, you know. And he goes, this is the thing. This is the justice. Everybody's a suspect. And everyone just looks around like, okay, Jesus, relax, you know. And all that. And then he sees Billy and all that stuff. And then he's like, Billy, I'm telling you, he's the killer. And then he's like, Billy pops up. He's like, listen, you think you're so fucking smart and all that. And then Stu's just behind him. He's like, how do we know you're not the killer? I was like, that's right, Billy. I'm sorry. I was like, say it. I'm sorry. You're not the killer. I'm just going to shut my mouth now. I'm going to shut the fuck up. He's like, yeah, okay. And he runs off. He's like, he's a fucking idiot, man. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, I know, whatever. And then they run off. It's like, that's fucking stupid, man. He's stupid. It's like, yeah. And you're just kind of like, holy shit. That was so intense. But they do a good job at like, fuck, is he the killer? Like, when I first watched it, I was like, it's definitely him. It's him. It's him. And then they do a good way, a really smart thing, by copping you out later on, showing that he's not the killer. But as I said, you know, Sidney Prescott is an amazing lead. Like, she carries this whole franchise. She is amazing, and Neve Campbell does a great job. Now, I haven't seen Neve Campbell in that many things, other than just Scream and Wild Things. And have I seen her in anything else? I saw a clip of her with a movie with Alex Wolff, but I haven't seen much. But you know, I liked right after the title pops up and Scream, you just have her typing on her computer, just like, yeah, whatever, you know, looking at things, and she's just typing whatever, and really young, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, and you just hear it's like what is that? And she goes over to the window and she hears something, and he's like ah, and the trope of like, it's like, Billy, what are you doing here and all that. It's like, you know, the trope of sneaking in the bedroom. Are you crazy? It's like, hey, I missed you. The window was open, you know. I couldn't resist seeing you. Come on, my dad's home. I can't resist. No, I had to see you kiss him. It's like, oh God, what's going on? It's like, you can't. And then you can't just go. And then the dad walks in. It's like, oh, you know, he jumps behind the bed and stuff. And she's like, oh, Daddy. It's like, hi, are you okay, honey? I thought I heard screaming. It's like, no, it's fine. I'm fine, Dad. It's like, okay, remember to do that and leave the money on the mat. Remember to leave the key there as well. And if there are any problems, call me. Okay, thank you. I'm going to be out of town for a weekend. You going to be okay? It's like, yeah. It's like, I'll see you. You know, see you, Sydney. I love you. Love you, Dad. Kisses. And closes the door. And then you have the fucking Billy putting the fucking, the teddy or the plushie up, going, that was a close call. It's like, Billy, you can't be in here. It's like, oh no, come on. I always sneak through your window, Sid. And it's like, that is a trope in movies, but it also kind of reminded me of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm not going to lie, I honestly think Skeet Ulrich looks like Johnny Depp in this film. I don't really know now. Like, Skeet Ulrich hasn't really changed much. As I said in my Scream 5 review from last year, he's in Scream 5 as well as a vision. But yeah, I want to get that prom night quote up. Actually, one sec, because I feel like I kind of misquoted that, and it's such an iconic line. Hang on. Randy prom. No, okay. Everybody's supposed to, yeah, and you get like, you know, great moments like in that scene with the video store when they're walking around and stuff. Get great moments following the camera. It's like, yeah, that's amazing. I know, and it's such a great look at an old style video store and seeing all the VHSs, and you know, it's so like the Friday night nostalgia. It's just such a nice location for the film as well. That is, it's great. And then I love seeing all the movies that are there in the background. Like, I love films that do that because they've done that in Be Kind Rewind and they've done that in Clerks. But, like, you see, like, other films and you see the sort of Miramax things, but you see, it's like, yeah, I just wanted to see you. It's like, you can't be here, Billy. It's like, you gotta go now. I just want to stay and all that. And then it's like, really? He's like, well, I'm fine here, you know? And then right away you want to know more about Billy and Sydney's relationship. And he's like, I was watching The Exorcist on TV, and once again, so many horror movie references. And he's like, I was just thinking about, had me thinking about you. It's like, oh really? I didn't know I get possessed. It's like, no, it's like, I just how all the best bits are edited for TV. I was thinking of us, and then while it's like me and you lately, I feel like we've been edited for TV. It's like, really, Billy? Sorry, but you get this really nice version of "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Blue Oyster Cult that plays in the background, like the olden times have come. Which that song is in Halloween, but this is a different version. It's like, I feel like we're edited for TV. It's like, I know, Billy, but that's just the way it is and all. And it's like, but I just want to be able to do things with you. It's like, I know, but I'm not ready yet. It's like, it's fine. Don't want to pressure you and all. And they start kissing and making out, and then they're going down onto the bed slowly. And it's a beautifully done scene, but then you're thinking when what happens later is unbelievably fucked up. It's like, yeah, that's it. And they're making out. It's like, seasons don't fear the rebound. Like, seeing her panties, and it's getting all sexy. He's getting the fucking hand there and tits are there. It's like, oh, that's like, and you just hear the wind, the sun, and the rain. It's like, that's it, Billy. I'm not ready. It's like, okay, sorry, I don't want to pressure you or whatever. Since my mom left, Molly. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say since my mom left, but he goes, I don't want to pressure you, Sydney. It's like, she's like, it's fine. Gets up. He's like, I'll go. I'll see you. And it's like, hey, Billy, and he opens the window. He's like, yeah. Would you settle for a PG-13 relationship? And he goes, what's that? And she just shows her tits, but you don't see her tits. He just goes, alright, see you later. Unfortunately, in Scary Movie, she does show her fucking tits, but like, you don't see her. And she's like, oh god. Walks down. It's a nice scene, but it's like, okay. You don't really suspect Billy in that scene, I feel. I feel like it's really when he gets accused that you kind of go, what the fuck? But they do a good job at making you think, oh, is it Henry Winkler? Oh, is it, And when you first watch it, if you don't know much about it, it's like, you do realise that they always make it set up that it's one killer, but I love the twist that it's two. Now, a majority of the Scream movies, with the exception of Scream 3, have two killers. There's also a theory that in the new film, number 6, there's going to be multiple also. Scream 7, I think, got greenlit, but anyway. So, you have that, right? And then the next morning, you just get, like, you get so many great moments at the high school, right? And it's great shots, like, these great panning down shots, which are in, like, the mid to late 90s, early 2000s films. Like, it's like you get the whole, dun, 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 and the music, do, 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 so it's panning down, everyone's there like, oh my god, or whatever, and then like it's just such like a 90s film that everyone's going, oh my god, you're ready, it's like a devastating thing when teens were murdered and people walking and all that, and then Sydney's there and she's like, hey, Sydney, and all that, and then like you see Rose McGowan. It's like, did you hear what happened? It's like, what? Casey Becker got slashed to death last night like 30 times. What? Yeah, I know. It's insane. And Rose McGowan is great in this movie. I think that she does a great job at being over the top because that's meant to be her character. And she's like, she was stabbed like a million times, like 30 times. Her and her boyfriend got butchered last night. Her and Steve. Wait, what? Yeah. Casey Becker's like, yeah, it's insane. It's like, she's been, she used to sit beside me. She sits beside me in English. Yeah, I know, it's insane. And then walking into class and stuff. I was like, that's going on and all. And there haven't seen this many news reporters around since she's like, since what? It's like, yeah, sorry, Sydney. And I was like, that's insane. Like, hi, what's up? And all, and she's going in, and then like you have Stu going, oh, what's up, man? It's horrible. It's like, yeah, I know. And then Randy's there, like, oh god, yeah, it's awful. They're walking in, and then you see fucking, Gail Weathers, and she's just like, hey, this is a devastating thing. This has happened, and all. It's like, oh, okay, we have the victims here. Can you give an interview? It's like, we gotta get a good interview, Kenny. Okay, you gotta give a good interview. It's like, okay, point the camera. Okay, shoot and point. That's all you have to do, Kenny, and all that. And I just love their chemistry. It's so funny. Like, come on, Kenny, and all that. And Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers is great. Now, she's very bitchy, but she is a lovable bitch. Like, she really is an example of a bitchy character that really redeems herself. And she's like, okay, here we go, let's go. And all the scenes with her and Kenny are great. But they're walking, or whatever. And basically, they're working the skills, like, yeah, that's insane. And then, you have the typical, oh, you coming to the party, tonight. It's like, yeah, you're gonna do it. It's like, yeah, are you ready for it, Sydney? Yeah, Stu, it's fine. Yeah, see you later. Bye, and all that. And Bill's like, hey, how are you? It's like, oh, I'm fine, And then you have Randy going, hey, Sid, how are you? It's like, yeah, he's fine, dude. It's like, okay, whatever. It's like, yeah, it's insane. It's horrible that happened, And I like that kind of teenage dialogue. Oh, did you hear about that? And all that. And it's like they're questioning everybody, and it's just really disturbing. And Nev comes like, oh god, and you can tell that Nev just feels really, really bad, and has bad PTSD. It's like, because you find out that something has happened to her mother, Maureen Prescott. Yeah, it's like, okay. So you cut into the classic. So here's what's happening and all that. So we had the devastating news or whatever, and then you have the principal's like, the intercom going, oh, the devastating news that Casey Becker has left the town of Woodsboro speech. It's like Woodsboro High and all that. It's like, this is the horrible thing to happen in Woodsboro and all that. And you have you have Dewey appearing as a police officer as well. Like, he's like, hey, how are you, Sydney, and all that. It's like, hey, Dewey. It's like, hi. It's like, hey, Ted. It's like, what are you doing here, Doof? It's like, I'm here, Mom. Does Mom know? I'm here on police business. Like, really, does Mom know you're here? Yeah. It's like, okay, Dewey, get to that. Yes, sir. Hi, Ted. It's like, hi. And all that kind of shit. So it's like, okay, let's go. And the cops are like saying that. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. I kind of messed it up. So what I'm saying is, there's a funny scene between Dewey and Tatum because they're brother and sister, and he's like, so, hey, Tatum, what's up? It's like, hey, Sid. Hi, Dewey. It's like, hey, Sid, and all that. It's like, does Mom know you're here, Doofus? It's like, yeah, I'm here on official police business. Okay, Doofus. Really? It's like, do you it's like, I'd like to be addressed as Deputy Dewey. It's Deputy today and all that. And it's like, well, Doofus, you're my brother. Okay, stop it. It's like, okay, say the family stuff are at home or whatever. It doesn't actually say that, but it's like, okay, Dewey, come on, let's go. So they go in, whatever. You get them in the classroom just talking. They're just like, yeah, this is horrible, whatever. And then just great show don't tell moments of Sydney just there in class. And she looks around and sees that Casey Becker's not there anymore. And it's just a fucking like, holy shit. You feel the stakes and the tension of this. And she's like, hey, Sydney Prescott, you're on. It's like, yep. And she goes, come on, let's go. Walks in, it's like, how are you, Sydney? Oh, I'm fine, yeah. And they walk in. She walks into the principal's office or something. It's like, hi, Sydney. Hi, sit down, And this cop's there, and she said, one sec. I'm going to get some milk. That sounded so wrong. But anyway, be back in a second. What was I saying? Oh, I actually didn't go and get my milk in the end. I just got distracted there, so it was weird. I'm fucking thirsty. Never get that when you're just thirsty. But they're like, hey, Sid, sit down. It's like, so, how are you? It's like, I'm okay. It's like, how are you after? It's like, I'm fine. It's like, she's like, hi, sir. Hi, Sheriff. It's like, yeah, Dewey. Actually, it's Deputy today, Sid. It's like, sorry. It's like, so how are you? Do you want a drink? It's like, no, I'm fine. It's like, you know, and it's a very natural conversation. Like, how close were you to the victim? It's like, not really. I didn't know much. Were you close with Becky? It's like, Casey is like, no, not really. You know, I taught her a bit in English class. That's it. Sorry, see, we have to ask just in case you're suspect. Suspect what? It's just protocol. Sid. It's like, hope you're okay. It's like, yeah, we're fine. Just let us know if you know anything. Like, who will be out together? Do you know anyone who could be out together? It's like, no, not really. You know. And she goes, okay, and he gets up or whatever, and then goes, and it's like, Sid, just be careful out there. It's like, thanks, Dewey. Walks out. It's just a very like, yeah. Gracie's like, oh my god, but they question you. It's like, yeah, I know, it's insane. They're walking out through the high school, and it has that very like 2000s, late 90s feel. That not even just in horror, but like in comedy as well. It has that sort of American Pie kind of esque feel to it. But it really works for the time, and like the Scream movies have evolved. Like the newer films are not like this. Like you know, they're for the times. Like, you know, Scream 4 feels like a 2010s film, and Scream 5 and 6, and I've only seen clips from Scream 6 at this stage at the time of recording this anyway. They feel like 2020 movies, you know, or even late 2010 films. So, you know, this is a great for its time, and it still holds up well. It hasn't aged a fucking day. And then, you know, you have Gail Weathers like, okay, is that Sidney Prescott? We gotta get an interview with her eventually. Oh my god, it's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, we gotta get interviews. Excuse me, Sheriff, can you tell us anything? It's like, no. And then you get the relationship between Gail and Dewey, which builds in this film, and it's something that has consistently gone throughout the film. And let me just say, David Arquette and Courtney Cox have amazing chemistry on screen. They actually did end up dating in real life for a little bit as well, and you know, they got married and all, and they're divorced now, but they're still on good terms apparently. And they, of course, David Arquette was actually in Friends as well, briefly, but obviously, Courtney Cox was in Friends, but there's that great scene. It's like, oh god, it's like, hello, are you the sheriff? It's like, no, I'm not the sheriff. I'm the deputy. It's like, it's like, hi, I'm Gail. It's like, oh, I watch your show. You're Gail Weathers, aren't you? It's like, yeah, yeah, I'm Gail Weathers. It's like, it's real nice to meet you. It's like, yeah, how old are you, Sheriff? Are you a little young to be a deputy? It's like, I'm 25 years old, ma'am. You know, it's just really cheesy, funny flirting, but it's really well done. Like, it's like, yeah, that's great. It's like, you like it? It's like, yeah. Some people are they as young and handsome as you? It's like, yeah, I guess not as beautiful. It's like, oh, nice to meet you. She's like, can I get an interview? Oh, not right now. It's like, okay, read your book, loved it. It's like, okay, great, thank you, you know. And he says, oh, such and such quotes something. It's like, oh, it's like, you read my book? It's like, yeah, and all that. And walks off or whatever. And it's just really well done, you know. So I can't say much about the victim. It's like, that's official police business. Like, oh, really? Yeah. It's like, okay, Kenny, you getting this and all that. It's like, do you have any interviews? Like, and she goes, do you want an interview? It's like, yo, Kenny's like, oh, no, I'm fine, you know. But I love that she's not just your generic newswoman. There's so much layers to her character, and as I said, she does redeem herself. And yeah, she does end up doing a really cunty thing in the second one, but once again, redeems herself. And honestly, I fucking love that about this film. And it's just, you know, you have, of course, the chemistry between the friends, which is so natural, you know. They're all at the fountain and stuff. You know, you have Tatum, who's with Randy, who's with Stu, comes up, oh, hi, how are you, and all that from behind's like, oh, it's great, yeah, and they're walking in together. It's like, oh, you okay, Sydney? It's like, yeah, you okay, Tatum? And she's like, oh yeah. It's like, that's insane. You hear about Casey Becker? Like, she got slashed last night, and your boyfriend Steve, and all that. And then they're saying it in the locker room, like, I can't believe you got slashed. Like, I know, it's horrible. Yeah, it's awful, you know. But instantly you do get off vibes about these two. But as I said, the movie does a very good job at making you think it's not them. But obviously it is fucking them, come on. You know, like, that's what I love about the film. It does a good job at getting you to think that it is them two. That it's not them two. Sorry. Um, and because like it makes everyone out there a suspect. Like, you know, Sydney, while in school, it's like, Sydney, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not well. I'm just upset. You know. I was like, you okay, Sid? I was like, yeah, you're alright. It's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then she she's looking down the hallway. This is after she gets attacked. Like, this is a later, much later on scene. And there's these fucking idiots going running around, and Ghostface fast like, oh, it's like, take that off. It's like, oh, it's like, I'm gonna get you. It's like, no, stop it. And then she runs out. It's like, Sydney, are you okay? It's like, okay, I gotta go. You know. And then she bumps into Billy, and then goes into the bathroom and all. And then there's this scene where, you know, she goes into the bathroom and she's like crying or whatever, and then people walk in and she just goes into the stall and she's like, oh god, I can't believe you're doing cheerleading practice, it's fucking horrible, you know. I get these two fucking cunts, and Sidney Prescott's just in the toilet going, what the fuck. It's like, god, Sydney's Prescott, I can't believe Casey and Steve were murdered. I honestly think, like, and it's Sydney. Everyone's on about Sydney getting attacked. She's a goddamn bitch. Oh really? Don't, you're so mean. Then you get her just hearing it, and Nev Campbell giving a really believable performance, crying, looking through the like cracks. Like, yeah, I know. Like, they push her boyfriend and all. You know, ugh, it's like, you know, how do we even know that she's not the killer? Like, her boyfriend, Billy, is like, you know, getting arrested. Like, how do we know she's not the killer? Maybe she had the hots for Steve. She had the hots for Steve, so she killed Casey, and hit Steve in return. Like, no, isn't she with Billy? Yeah, but like, who cares? She's a horrible slut whore, just like her mother and all that. And it's like, she's just there crying, and then they walk off. It's like, you're so mean. She gets out, crawls, opens up, it's like, god damn it, it's pathetic and all that. Looks herself in the mirror, pathetic and all this, and just like, I can't believe that. And then she just is looking down and sees someone in boots and shit jumping down. She's like, hello, hello. And then she just kind of runs out like, oh, I believe Ghostface jumps the fuck out. I was like, oh shit. Or she opens like, hi. He's like, sorry. Or no, I think actually someone walks out like, oh hi, sorry, it's just me. It's like, hi, sorry. It's like, god. And she just walks out and she's like, oh, or whatever. I don't remember. I think like Ghostface runs like, oh shit, and she runs out, or like opens it up and someone else like, sorry, and he just kind of walks out, or just goes, you know, walks out or whatever. But she walks out and that's a really intense scene. It's like, hello, and she's just kind of looking down like running away and stuff. Now Sydney is a badass, but you feel for Nev Campbell in that part. She's walking around, and then you get this scene where Billy Loomis is a fucking asshole. Like, and you can see how much of an asshole he is to try and pressure her to have sex with him and all that. But this scene just proves even more that he's a fucking dick. He just bumps into her and all that. He's like, oh, it was like, whoa, hey, it's just me, Sid. And that's actually one of the times where a jump scare, someone pulling into someone, it's cliche, but it's effective. It's like, it's just me. It's like, God, Billy, hi. It's like, you're okay. It's like, yeah, so I got the all clear. I'm innocent and all that shit. You know? And it's like, yeah, it's great. It's like, yeah, it's great. We can go back to normal. It's like, wait, you don't still think it was me? And she's like, no, of course not. I wouldn't think that, Billy. And it's like, okay, it's like, it's just, you're giving me that weird look, and he's giving her all these glares because making you think it's me. It's like, I know it's not you, Billy, and all that. And then he's all like, you know, because I'd never do anything to hurt you. It's like, yeah. It's like, just, but you've been so off lately. You haven't really been there. And it's like, okay, just don't want to be touched right now. It's like, okay. It's like, just, you haven't been able to do anything and all that. It's like, you know, you just haven't, you know, you haven't returned my calls, you haven't done this, that, the other. It's like, you know, I just want my girlfriend back. It's like, oh, and all that. Well, I'm sorry. It's like that my trauma is making me a little bit distant. I'm sorry that I'm not affectionate as if it's fine. I just want you back. I mean, like, your mom, it's like, my mom died, Billy. It's like, yeah, I know, you said it before, but it's been a year ago. It's like, my mom walked out on my dad, you know, which is the same thing. Like, you just got to get over it. It's like, That's not the same thing, Billy. Your parents left. Mine is in the rotten in a box somewhere. It's like, I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry. Look, just Sydney. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like, look, just stay away from me. Walks off. I was like, Sydney, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. Whatever. And it's just like, holy fucking shit. Billy's a fucking asshole. That is so different, but it also hints at his motive for later. So yeah, but I love that whole sequence. You know, with Henry Winkler. I believe, does Henry Winkler have an appearance before that? He's like, hey, sit down, Sydney. Sit down. Sit down, Sydney. We'll talk. We just have to ask you a few questions. The cops are here to ask you questions. Fonzie is cool. No, sorry. But the Henry Winkler part is brilliant. He is amazing. Fucking Barry season 4 trailer came out today, so I'll actually be reacting to that. That just reminded me. Shit. I'll do that in a separate video, of course. But God, HBO is awesome. No! It's the final season? Sorry. Okay. Anyway. So, basically, Henry Winkler's like, you P2 make me sick. And he pulls the fucking ghost face mask. This thing, you think that's okay? Wearing a goddamn mask with a girl that was traumatized and attacked. 2 of her students got murdered. It's like, oh, come on, teach scroll. You two are suspended from any extracurricular activities. Come on, teach, it's not fair. Seriously. How would you like if someone was cut? How would you like if I stabbed you with a knife? He's there with the scissors. I cut your guts up. It's like, it's not fair. Okay, get out and report out of here, okay? Get out of here. God, football coach, it's just a joke. God, sick. It's like, he's so believable as a principal. It's like, God. Looking around and stuff, and he's just like looking at the mask, like, yeah, whatever, walking around or whatever, and it cuts back. I think it cuts away and it cuts back, or does that continue in the scene? I don't know. Whatever, cuts away, cuts back. But you get a great suspenseful scene and another really great kill. He's walking around or whatever. He's like, hey, looking at the mask, like, better cut it open, putting on like, ooh, going around hearing the hello. He's just kind of looking around. Hello. Sorry. He goes, hello? And he's just looking around. He's like, he's just there kind of walking around like, and then he goes, hello? And he opens it, and then Wes Craven has an amazing cameo as a janitor, like, you talking to me? And he's wearing a fucking Freddy Krueger fucking sweatshirt. He's like, no, Fred, or whatever. He's like, jackass. He's like, okay. He's walking around like, yeah, hello. Turns around, and then fucking Ghostface is there, like, grabs him, like, and then fucking stabs him with the scissors, like, and then fucking dies, and it's just an amazing scene. It's like, oh shit. But yeah, like, it's just fuck, that's just awesome. That scene is awesome. But I do love the part, as I said, where you're introduced to Randy. So they're all sitting at like the fountain. Randy, Tatum, Billy, Stu, and Sydney. Like, oh, I heard this is what happened. No, I don't think that's what happened at all. That's not what happened, Stu. It's like, are you sure about that? It's like, no, they would have had a motive. Like, you guys are sick, really? Randy, it's like, yeah, I think we can do that. It's like, yeah, and I'll do that with you later. It's like, oh, really? And they're kissing. It's like, you guys are sick. It's like, hey, dudes, hey, Billy, what's up? It's like, you ready for that? It's like, no, it's horrible, man. It's like, I can't believe that. Yeah, man, you sure about this too? It's like, yeah. So they're just talking or whatever. It's like, I think he's done a lot of things. It's like, because a lot of people have motives, just like in movies. They have to have the motive. You understand? They really need to have the motive. He does this weird British voice, like, stop doing that, Randy. You're a freak. I'm not a freak, Stu. You're a freak, or whatever. Walks off. It's like, really not gonna have a chance to say it. It's like, no, or whatever, like that. And he's like, okay, I gotta go. It's like, just, and then like he's like, yeah. He's like, you gotta stop that. And he says, stop being. He's like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's like, just come on, man, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Get it? Leave her alone. You're sick, man. Oh, God, come on, it's just a joke. God, And it's like, okay, I gotta go. You know, it's a really messed up fucking scenario, but it's like, oh shit. It's like, oh shit, is that chick Gail Weathers? Like, yeah, yeah. He's like, come on, Kenny, you getting this? We're here at Woodsboro High where two teens have been brutally murdered and all that. And I honestly think that Gail Weathers, as I said, brings so much comedy to the film. But the whole high school setting is done really well. The extras are utilised well. The location, the leaves falling. Um, and then, of course, like, you know, you have that awesome scene where they're in the school, like, hey, what's up? And then later on in the movie, and then Stu's like, hey, so sorry about what happened last night. It's like, hey, so you coming to my party tonight, Sydney? It's like, oh yeah, I should be there. It's like, yes, Stu, sure, I'll be there. It's like, thank you. Don't make sure you're okay. It's like, you okay, Sid? And Randy's like, yeah. She's like, I'm fine. And I was like, oh yeah, we're going to be at a party tonight. It's going to be great. You know. It's like, okay, thanks, Randy. It's like, yeah, such a weirdo. You know. It's like, I can't wait to go to this party or whatever. Um, but honestly, weirdly enough, I don't know why Tatum kind of reminded me of Annie for some reason from Halloween, except not as annoying. But as I said, Rose McGowan does this well, and like Rose McGowan, she has such a great range because like this character she plays in this is so different to the one she plays in Planet Terror. Um, you know, this is the only Scream movie she's in as well. Um, Now, I'm gonna be completely honest about something. It's fucking shit that that fucking asshole Harvey Weinstein was behind the first four films. Like as in like producer and shit, because he is a piece of shit, and I believe he actually did rape, um, Rose McGowan, and heart goes out to Rose McGowan. She's not gonna see this review, but I really am sorry that that happened to you, Rose McGowan. Um, the Me Too movement is it's good that it was set up because of her, you know. So yeah, and that people are able to come out and talk about it. But I felt like I needed to address that because like an elephant in the room because it's a Miramax movie that has Rose McGowan in it. I believe Breaking Bad's a Miramax. Or not Breaking Bad. Sorry, Breaking Bad popped on my phone. Planet Terror is a Miramax movie as well, so I feel like I just needed to address that. Um, but you have like, um, of course, the scene like they go home or whatever. Sydney goes home. It's like, okay, whatever. She goes upstairs. It's like, so we come home later. It's like, oh yeah, sure. And then it's like, yeah, I'll see you later. Kisses Billy goodbye. They go off, and you have the parts with Dewey and Detective. It's like, oh, so I gotta. So we do that. We set up a perimeter. Do this. It's okay. Look into the murders. Okay, I will. Thank you. Did good work today, Dewey. It's like, thank you. It's like, what do you think, Sheriff? I don't know. I think something bad's gonna happen to these kids. Really? It's like, yeah. And they're outside the school campus or whatever. But you have Sydney who's at home looking around like just nice ass fucking house as well. She's there, brilliant, lovely set. It's like, so I'll pick you up later, okay? It's like, yeah, cool. So then she's like, so hey, do you want to come over later? It's like, yeah, sure, I'll be over later, okay? I promise. It's like, okay, sure. See you, Tatum, bye, whatever. Stops, walks around the house, does a few things, turns on the news, sees fucking whatchamacallit, Gail Weathers going, this is Woodsboro High has been experienced horrible murders. Something we haven't Woodsboro hasn't seen a murder like this. This is Gail Weathers. You know, Woodsboro hasn't seen a murder like this since, you know, Maureen Prescott was raped and murdered last year by Cotton Wary, and she's just like, what? It's like horrible, and then instantly you see Nev Campbell's reaction to PTSD and stuff, and Cotton Wary is mentioned by name in this one's like, since my mom's death, yes, since Cotton Wary got out. It's like, do you think Cotton Wary's like to frames like, yeah, he killed my mother and all this stuff. So Cotton Wary is mentioned in this film, and actually he is in the movie. Like, you often forget Liv Schreiber is actually in Scream 1. You often forget that. I always like think he's in 2 and 3 because he has speaking roles, but he is in Scream 1. He's on the TV at one point, but not at that part. It's like, oh, seriously, Cotton Wary's in prison. It's like, yeah, that's Maureen Prescott. Cotton Wary murdered her. You know, he's murdered her mother. Like, he's in prison or whatever. It's like, yeah, that was Cotton Wary that murdered the mother and all that. But you have like, you know, those moments were great, great, and then you have Sydney kind of going and great shots of the outside, and time is passing, and it's night and stuff. Um, and sorry, I just had to check my alarm because like I'm supposed to be up early. Um, uh, so you have Sydney waking up, and of course you have just this at night, and just amazing. And then she's like, you get this really iconic scene, and it's the most fucking like iconic line. And besides, what's your favorite scary movie? That's the most iconic line. But um, this is like the second iconic line. So she picks up the phone. It's like, hello. It's like, hello, Sydney, and all this stuff. It's like, who is hi, who is this and all that? And she's like, oh, you tell me your name. What's on your mind? Oh, okay. This is a nice phone call, is it? It's like, yeah. Randy, is that you? It's like, this isn't Randy. Oh, it's Billy. Is this you? It's like, no, no, no. It's like, Stu. Oh, Stu, gave yourself away there. It's like, no. Oh no, Randy, it's you. Gave yourself away there. Can't do that. It's like, no. Start standing up and going. Oh, I'm walking around the house. Are you sure about that, Randy? It's like, no. Who are you? And getting all flirtatious. Like, oh, Randy, I like what you're doing with your voice. It's really sexy. This isn't Randy. It's like, no. What's happening? It's like, listen. Do you like scary movies? She's like, no, not really. What's your she goes, what's your favorite scary movie? And I don't really like scary movies. And I was like, why not? What? Why not? It's like, I don't know. So there's always, they're all the same, you know, some big dumb blonde, some stupid guy in a mask chases a guy around the house, a big dumb blonde who can't act around the house with a knife. It's insulting. It's like, yeah, a lot of cliches and all that. It's like, yeah, and all that. It's like, don't hang up. It's like, I have to hang up. It's like, no, don't hang up. It's like, right, Randy, get enough. It's like, okay, I could see you. It's like, yeah, right. I see where you are, Sydney, and all that. It's like, yeah, whatever. She goes downstairs or whatever. It's like, okay, really? It's like, I'm on the porch. Like, really? Like, yeah, and it's all getting all like freaky and stuff. Opens the door, and then it's like, oh, really? Yeah, I don't see you. All right then, what am I doing? Starts picking her nose. What am I doing? Okay, Randy, lay it off, or it off, okay? And then it takes a really fucked up, sinister turn. If you hang up, you'll die, just like your mother. And it's just this big, you know, and Nev Campbell's acting just sells. It's like, the fuck. You know, honestly, I could have actually just recorded this review on the phone. Now that I realise it doesn't fucking matter. And she's like, why would you say that? Fuck you. Hangs the phone up. What the fuck, you know? And she's a badass, and it's like, what's happening? And she's just walking around like, oh god. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, fucking Ghostface comes out like, she starts running after her like, oh shit, trying to stab her, like, fuck. She tries to hear it, then he fucking kicks him. And like, that's what I love about this as well, like, you know, because Casey Becker at the start of the movie kicks Ghostface, he falls over, she kicks him, it's like, oh shit, he's like stabbing, like, oh god, running, punching, trying to take the mask off, kicking her, running, then she's running up the stairs. I love that, because earlier on she's like, she's running up the stairs when she's running up the stairs when she should be running out the front door. It's insulting. So she's running like, oh no, throwing stuff like, closing the door like, no, and then stabbing like, please help, no, please, and all that. And then out of nowhere, Billy just comes like, it's like, oh, Billy's like, oh my god, Sydney, are you okay? It's okay, what's happening? Oh, it's Billy, there's someone in the house. It's like, who, and all that. It's like, it's okay, I heard screaming, you okay? It's like, yeah, it's fine, Billy. And they run downstairs, like, come on, it's okay. They go down or whatever, and they open the door, they call the cops or whatever. They open the door, she opens the door, and then she goes, and then the Ghostface mask is there, and then fucking Dewey has it, and he goes, with the gun and shit. It's like, what's happening? And all that. And then out of nowhere, the fucking phone just drops. It's like, Billy, what's happening? Whoa, what's happening? It's like, it's my phone. It's like, wait, Billy, what? I was like, no. That's not me, Sid. It's like, what? But you remain silent. Like, oh no, it's not me. And then they arrest him. Like, oh shit, Sydney, it wasn't me. No, he didn't do it, Sydney. No, it's like, they arrest him. It's like, are you okay, Sydney? It's like, yeah, it's just, the guy came and attacked me. He's like, okay, Sydney, we got all the information. Like, come on, let's go. Bring it out to the station. It's like, all right. And it's just that scene is like, holy fuck, that is motherfucking suspenseful, you know. And you're like, holy shit. So they just brought down to the police station. You're like, damn. Um. So yeah, and it's just like fucking insane. I'm gonna stop it here. I feel like I'll make this a few parts. Fuck it. So I'll do the rest whenever. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.